Welcome to Masonic Memories, where we chat with senior members of our lodge and reminisce about events, people, and their contributions to our fraternity. Pull up a chair, grab a coffee, and listen to the way things were back in the day as we meet on the plum, act on the level, and part on the square. Today we're meeting in Northborough and chatting with John Ernest Wilson, a proud Mason and a proud Marine. Jack was raised in Doric Lodge on June 19, 1978, and was Master of Doric Lodge in 1982. Jack is a Scottish Rite Mason and is currently active in United Brethren Lodge and in the Marlborough Masonic Corporation. Well, this afternoon we're in Northborough talking to Jack Wilson. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good, thank you.
We have a lot to talk about.
I would hope so. At least I have a lot to talk about.
Let's start off on why did you join the lodge?
I've been thinking about it. My family was always heavy in the Odd Fellows from my grandfather, my father, and they were already deputies, but the Odd Fellows weren't doing that much at the time. And I wanted to get involved with the fraternal organization, and my father happened to be a member of the at Doric at the time, and so I asked him, and that was once you ask a Mason, that's all you have to do. So,
You were recommended by your father,
yes, and I was raised by my father.
and even more than that, right?
Well, yes, both in and out of the lodge.
There's a family history there. Do you want to talk about your father's position and?
Well, my father's position was just a member of the Doric Lodge, but we went through the line together. I started out as senior steward, and he started out as junior steward. And the only reason why he started out as junior steward, he was going into the hospital for a bypass, and he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to continue on. So they put him in junior steward, and as it was, he continued along behind me, and I didn't know it until I was master, but they give you an old master's medal, so to keep the memory of the old master alive while you're wearing it. And I didn't realize it, but there was 4 generations of Wilsons raised in Doric. My great-grandfather, my grandfather, my father, and myself. So, and when I was wearing the medal, when they gave me the medal, it was just a matter of chance that I realized that I pulled WTS Woodbury Parker was the master, and he was the one that raised my grandfather a month before my grandfather married my grandmother. So I'm wearing the medal that started the whole. Line in Doric. So, and my father followed me, and he was my junior warden when I was master.
And we have a picture of you handing the gavel over to your father.
Yes, and I installed my father when he took over for me. He was my senior warden, and I installed him. And at the end of the service, I took my metal wrap at the gavel and had it engraved. It was already engraved with my name, and then down below I had it engraved with his name. So both of our names and the dates were on the gavel.
And where's that now?
I was looking for it. It's probably upstairs, put away. I could probably find it if you really want it. I could probably find it, but not today. I don't think.
You were telling me earlier there weren't a lot of things different between lodge ritual and lodge ritual now, and the activities of the lodge.
The only thing that has changed major wise is the interpretation. They changed the oath that you swore to a little bit. Some people think for better, some people think not, but it doesn't seem to me it doesn't make that much difference.
So United Brethren had a fire, and when they had the fire, they moved over to your lodge at Doric Lodge.
Yes, they did. I don't know that much about it because I wasn't raised until June of '78. So I have never seen the inside of the old Doric Lodge across up upstairs at Vidya Bank. But I understand that what it was is UB came over, Doric offered the quarters to UB that they could use until they found some suitable arrangements. And I guess while they're over there, both people started talking to each other, and the lease was coming up from Doric, and at the same time that UB was building the temple, and they decided to get together, and Doric coming over and pay rent over at the UB's temple. So that's how it worked out.
And all the furniture.
All the furniture came over from Doric. Walter Demergian measured the. As a matter of fact, the Doric ritual hall was measured out so that they could fit the Doric furniture in. So, and Walter did all that, and so that furniture was. They had the dedication of the lodge in 1899 at the bank, and so they had pictures of that when it was in the old Doric's old hall, and that was it. So the furniture that UB has now is over 125, 130 years.
Yeah.
So.
The merger was in 2023. Were you involved in that at all? Or remember the merger itself? When Doric merged in with UB?
Well, Doric. Oh, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't, because I had Raytheon had laid me off, and I had to work nights for about 6 years, and I couldn't make Doric's meetings because I was treasurer after I got out of Marshall. I was treasurer at Doric for like 11 years afterwards, and so Raytheon had laid me off, and I had to go nights, and I had to work nights for three or 4 years, and then they laid me off, and I had to go up to Andover and Lowell and all that stuff. And I couldn't make. And in the meantime, Doric had gone to a daylight lodge. It was a Saturday. I worked Saturdays, so I couldn't make it then. So the first time I was able to make it back to lodge was I believe 2012, when John Doherty was master.
Who put you in line? Do you remember?
I believe it was Ed Williams put me in line. Well, at the time they put me in line, he was the senior warden, but he asked me if I would take an office. And I said yes, and he appointed me senior steward.
I'm going to step back for a minute.
Okay.
When you were at Raytheon, I don't think you were the only Mason at Raytheon.
No. They had two things. They had a Masons Club at Raytheon, and the Marine Corps Club at Raytheon. So it was working at Raytheon until about, I'm going to say 1990, 1992 was basically working for a family. It was all very close. Everybody was very close. Then they decided to come out, and they started selling it off and buying other things, and then it kind of went down. Kind of went downhill after that as far as work experience.
Were there any colorful people that you met in Masonry?
Oh, Lord, yes, and I can't think of them right now on the thing, but I'll tell you, there's very few things in life. This is my 47th year. Last month was my 47th year in Masonry. And very few people can tell you in 47 years, I can honestly tell you that I've not had one regret. I mean, you've sent some words to people and stuff like that you regret, but it's everything works out, you know.
What is other than presenting your father and installing your father as master? Are there any other fond memories?
No, I have a problem now getting home at night and staying up at night. I would attend lodge more often because I love it. Because the biggest thing with lodge is, what used to be the fun was, the degrees were all right, but the most fun was the collation after the meeting. That's you know, that's, you know, the meeting was 2 hours long, collation was 3. So,
What's your favorite thing to eat at collation?
probably grinders, if they have grinders. If not, then I'll do soup or whatever they have out there. The collation, collation's more about everybody busting everybody else's chops. Yeah.
One thing we didn't talk about is dinners. I have a recollection that we only had dinners on the third degree, and they were a lot more involved. What's your recollection of the third degree dinners?
That was absolutely right. And when I was younger, and both Doric and UB had an active Eastern Star backup. Eastern Star used to do it. The Eastern Star used to do it and had the Rainbow Girls serve to raise money on both Doric and UB, and it was quite maybe nothing particular, roast beef or chicken, something like that was usually what it was, and it was very good. But we only had it on the third degree. We didn't have it, you know.
Yes. When I remember it being done by the wives, and it was always on the third degree,
Yeah.
and it was always very, very good.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who's the best ritualist you heard? Yourself excluded.
I can't win on this, but there's a lot of ritualists that I was very impressed with. You know, probably the most obvious is Dick Johnson. Walter Vickers was a very good one. There was a lot that did it. And back when I was going through, not that it's not the same, because I think the lodge is still good, but ritual was very, very important in both lodges, Doric and UB, to do a good ritual, you know.
And being in the Marines, I remember the floor work being very particular.
Yes, the floor work was.
Any advice for new Masons?
Yeah, the biggest thing I would say is get involved. I don't care what it is. Start someplace. Get on the blood drive committee. Get on the advocates for that we got for the kids in school and stuff like that.
Angel Fund.
Angel Fund. Get involved with the Angel Fund. Widows, whatever. Start that way. The big thing is start meeting people. Once you start meeting people and they get to like you and your name goes around and stuff like that, the problem you're going to have is saying no afterwards. So, you know, if you get it, if you get in and just sit there and you're going to say, why did I join this? They're not going to probably come after you, but they would love your help. Believe me, they would love your help.
What about new masters?
Well, I've always made it a rule of, I had my chance to screw my year up. I'll give them the same chance. But the thing of it is, you have to make sure that you have good people in line. You don't appoint people because you like them or something like that. You appoint them because they go to visitations. They go to lodges for instruction. They got a commitment to the lodge. You know, they don't have to, doesn't have to be the first thing in life, but, you know, they have to have some sort of commitment that they're willing to do it, because being a master is not easy. Being a master is basically a full-time job for that whole year. But you got to do your visitations. You got to do your visits with the sick. You got to, you know, you got to get your notices out to the printer and back, and they got to be working with the treasurer and the secretary on off days, so they, you know, make sure that the people have some sort of commitment to the lodge.
You're full of knowledge, Jack. Do you have anything?
No, I'm just full of opinions. I'm not full of knowledge.
Do you have anything else you want to tell us about the lodge or yourself?
No, if I talked about myself, I could go to jail. But, no, it's just that United Brotherhood has always been very good to me when I was master of Doric, and I never saw what the problem was. To this day, I don't know what the problem was between Doric and UB earlier. I don't know. Maybe it was the rivalry with the football games, or the rivalry between the town, or Hudson broke off from Marlboro. I don't know what it was, but I don't see need for it. And put it this way, when Doric rolled in with UB, what was it? That was
2003.
Yeah, 2003. I didn't have any problem with it. I was looking forward. So it was 2012 before I had the opportunity to come back. But as soon as I retired, I didn't have the traveling to do or the night shift to work, and I came back. But by then, 2012, by then Doric was already merged with UB, but Doric was a daylight lodge up until 2003, from the late 1990s to 2003.
And you were master in 82.
82, yeah.
So then it was not a daylight lodge then.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
We went to a daylight lodge in the late 90s, I think 98 or 99.
Well, I've enjoyed this discussion. if we can keep going, if you have more.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've enjoyed it too. I've enjoyed it.
Well, let's add on. I understand you've done a lot of work on the history of UB and Doric.
Yes.
You just mentioned that you knew that the lodge furniture was dedicated in 1899
Right.
on Pope Street.
Well, at the time it was Hudson Savings Bank, which became Avidia.
Yeah. And you have a lot of other information about the lodge history, both lodges, and you have them on a CD?
No, I have them on an external hard drive.
Okay.
So it's I got it hooked up after we're done with this. I'll just show you all the stuff that I have on it. I'm not going to bore you by making you memorize it.
Okay, maybe someday we could get that, published or made available more, because
it would be made available anytime the lodge wants to. But I want to make sure the person who has it is interested in it, and we'll get it on the web or the computers of the lodge for the other lodges for the other members of the lodge. I have no secrets. I have no ritual or minutes or anything on it. So there's nothing that can't be shared with the public.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, we'll try to make another arrangement to do something with that. But as of now, I had a great afternoon with you, Jack.
Good, and I had a good time too. I hope you don't have any regrets.
No regret.
I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Stay tuned for more stories and tales about our lodge and its members. Take a look at these pictures. Can you recognize the members or identify the events that they were attending?